Like, it is a basketball play, and an Angel is flying. Angel gets hit, in fairness, and she just flies. And then jumps up and tries to go at her. She tries to charge her down while Caitlyn walks away. Like, it's nothing. It's absolutely...
Just what you saw in that play, how you interpreted what happened.
Basketball play, refs got it right. Move on.
The highly anticipated WNBA matchup between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever recently became the most recent development in the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese story. And people, it was not disappointing. What we saw was more than just a basketball match. It was a masterclass in creating indignation when you're being completely destroyed on the scoreboard. In addition to Caitlin Clark's triple-double brilliance, the Indiana Fever vs. Chicago Sky showdown featured the Angel Reese tantrum special, served hot and served with a side of "please look at me," rather than the score.
It is right here. She comes in, gets a little grab around her, trying to kind of hold her, really. And Angel Reese loses her mind. I mean, if you can't tell me there is not true animosity, jealousy, and agenda ate up right there with that player, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that was a big nothing. Wow.
The Chicago Sky is being completely destroyed by the Indiana Fever. We are discussing a hardwood demolition derby where the ultimate score is 93-58. This type of beating makes you wonder if the person running the scoreboard fell asleep. And with more than 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, in the midst of this basketball massacre, the spotlight went out. An offensive rebound is grabbed by Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark commits a take foul, just like any other basketball defender would.
Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, and it's so obvious. You don't give this type of reaction for a common foul. That is a regular basketball foul. Caitlin Clark hit ball, but Angel Reese decides to flop like she's Draymond Green and act like she got shot in the streets and hood of Chicago. But then when you ask a question after the game in the press conference, you say basketball play, refs got it right, move on. But you clearly had a hard time moving on after that foul. And Caitlin Clark threw some shade at Angel Reese, rightfully so. That's just a good take foul. Either you let Angel get a wide open two-pointer, which I don't think she was going to make. Have you seen her layup package? Or you send her to the free throw line and make her earn those points. Anybody who played any type of outs of
Angel Reese didn't like that cunning move, and she exploded right away, flailing her arms in shock and screaming at the referee and anybody else who would listen. Based on Angel's reaction, you would think Caitlin had just kicked her puppy. She is stomping around, pointing at Clark with her fingers and giving him a death glare. The referees, who were obviously intimidated by Reese's outrage, elevated it to a flagrant one. A blatant example of what basketball players refer to as Tuesday for what each coach in America instructs his players to do in each and every basketball game throughout history.
She just said basketball play, refs got it right. She could have, like, it could have been worded worse. It could have been worded worse. And it was the same thing as she said, basketball play, when she clocked Caitlin Clark in the head. And again, I stand by this. I don't think Angel Reese last year intentionally smacked Caitlin Clark in the head, because at that stage in the year, Angel Reese had gone like 15 games without getting a single block. If Angel Reese tried to hit Caitlin Clark in the head, she would.
Possess, allow me to paint you this image. When Caitlin Clark, the same player who last year sold out arenas and made the WNBA relevant to people who couldn't name 3 teams, performs a routine basketball play, Angel Reese reacts as though she's trying out for a soap opera revival. As if she had been fired from a cannon, she throws herself at Clark. She is rushing at the rookie with the same tenacity that she ought to have used to prevent her team from becoming completely humiliated on the scoreboard. Because I also want...
Because of me, too. I want y'all to realize that. Now, I heard a lot of people say that I or others have made Angel Reese the villain. Did you not just hear herself call herself the bad guy? She called herself the villain. I'm not making her the villain. She's making herself the villain. And guess who her eyes are on at all times? Caitlin Clark. There's an image from this opening game when Caitlin Clark hits a beautiful fadeaway three-pointer. and the camera pans to Angel Reese, and you would have thought she saw the devil.
If you're having fun, please subscribe. When LSU defeated Iowa in the NCAA championship, Clark did the exact same thing and re-intimidated her by making the John Cena "you can't see me" gesture. She turns to leave. She doesn't interact, she avoids feeding the drama machine. Like she's quietly and dignifiedly leaving a negative Yelp restaurant review, she just turns and leaves. Angel was occupied with creating her Oscar submission reel for the most dramatic response to a typical basketball game. Caitlin Clark scored 20 points in her first WNBA game of the regular season, completing a triple-double. 10 assists and 10 rebounds, the equivalent of bringing a tactical nuke to a gunfight in basketball. Angel Reese, meanwhile, scored 12 points on a miserable 5 of 14 shooting effort. If you're keeping score at home, that's 35% from the field, which seems to be a higher percentage than her capacity to identify a standard basketball play when it occurs to her. However, she did manage to grab 17 comeback. Congratulations. In a game where both teams missed shots whenever you were on the court, you pulled down a lot of rebounds. It would be equivalent to boasting about having an umbrella during a hurricane. Technically speaking, it is helpful, but that doesn't alter the fact that you are still being astounded.
Folks, this was crazy. Caitlin Clark recorded the first triple-double in a season opener in WNBA history, but are you surprised? Because I'm not. I have to say, there was a couple days when I was thinking, you know what, this guy might be a little difficult with like how scrappy they could be, but then I woke up today and for some reason I had like zero hesitation and full confidence in the Indiana Fever. Venom and I went live, we were talking about it before the game, and I was just like, nope, not.
However, this is where the interesting part begins. What does Angel Reese say after the game, when the cameras are rolling and the microphones are hot, following all of the drama, charging, and performative outrage? Let's not make it something that it's not. Basketball play, the referee has it right. She says that I apologize. The same Angel Reese from Game of Thrones who transformed a routine foul into the red wedding of basketball now wishes to act calmly. During the post-game press conference, the same player who required her teammates to support her unexpectedly found her calm. I'll translate this for you if you don't speak basketball drama. We were already losing by 30 points when I realized I had overreacted on national television. I must now act as though I was completely reasonable the entire time. The primary distinction between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is this, ladies and gentlemen. Depending on which way the camera is pointed, one player modifies the game, while the other modifies her narrative.
There was no need for Angel Reese to jump up and try chase down Caitlin Clark after a relatively hard foul. Like, what Caitlin did wasn't even in the stratosphere of what Diamond Shields or Kennedy Carter did.
Is out here creating history by selling out arenas and hitting triple-doubles. Reese creates confrontations more quickly than fast fashion creates stylish clothing. Ree is attempting to boost her brand with WWE-style antics, while Clark's is elevating the entire WNBA with her play. Let's also discuss the crowd. Should we game bridge? Fieldhouse was completely sold out. We did not count the janitors as sold-out attendance. Actually crammed to the rafters sold out, and following all of that drama, the building came together in a collective karma moment when Angel Reese missed that free throw. It was so loud that it most likely registered on seismic equipment.
If we're being completely honest, all of this is fine. All of this is high-level competition, passionate basketball. They're frustrated. Caitlin's trying to foul her to avoid a little freaking layup. Angel's frustrated because her team's losing and she was trying to do the most and her team was just not helping enough. So she's frustrated. She wants to go up for the layup. She gets off balance because of this foul. Caitlin does a little shove at the end. It doesn't look malicious, but it definitely was a shove with the left hand. Angel falls to the ground. She's pissed off again because she's frustrated. Just like we've seen every other player in the WNBA at times be frustrated. Stands up, turns around, says something. Aaliyah Boston comes, gets in between them, and they all get penalized. Fine. That's all fine.
People, keep in mind that this is not their first time. When LSU defeated Iowa to win the national championship, this rivalry dates back to college. Angel used the same "you can't see me" gesture that Clark had used earlier in the tournament to celebrate. But this time there was a twist. After a brilliant play, Reese saved hers especially to make fun of Clark after the result was determined. Clark used it during the course of a game. Competitive fire was one of them. The second was deliberate pettiness. Now, history is being repeated. A basketball play is made by Clark. Reese transforms it into a play, and Clark concentrates on winning by 35 points. Reese concentrates on winning the battle for attention. It's similar to seeing the same film in slightly different costumes. Even the Fever's head coach, Stephanie White, recognized it for what it was. We're going to be a formidable defensive team, so nobody will get anything easy against us. Additionally, I believed it to be a clear play on the ball. This wasn't a vicious outburst. This wasn't a vicious assault. Basketball 101 was this: avoid giving up easy money. At the line, make them earn it. It's not dirty play, it's a clever move. However, why let a good dramatic moment be thwarted by basketball intelligence? When you can make a viral video instead, why acknowledge basic strategy? When you can create highlight reels for something other than your shooting percentage, why concentrate on the fact that your team is getting completely destroyed?
Took is one game for Angel Reese to attack Caitlin Clark. It couldn't be clearer that Angel Reese knows that she is in second place behind Caitlin Clark and she's not going to top her throughout her career. In any basketball game, WNBA, NBA, on the streets, this would be a clear foul. For Angel Reese to react this way is completely out of control, and she deserves to be fined for this. She's always subliminally going after Caitlin Clark in interviews, and there's constantly one thing that we can always look back on that tells the truth that Caitlin Clark is a better player than Angel Reese, and that is the stat board. Game 1, Caitlin Clark brought in the triple-double, and although Angel did have a good game, we will give her that with 12 points and 17 rebounds. 17 rebounds is huge. She definitely did not play as good of a game as...
The referee now clarified why they deemed it a flagrant. Clark's foul satisfied the requirements for a flagrant foul 1-4 wind-up impact and follow-through when the left hand was extended to Reese's back. According to a rulebook definition, this can be considered a flagrant violation. Angel Reese made such a scene that it would have been even bigger had it not been upgraded, so that's what we're going with. Here's the lovely irony, though. The sky was completely destroyed despite the egregious call, the free throws, and the additional possession. What to lose by 35 instead of 37, and all that drama, the cherry on top of this ridiculous Sunday after all that chaos. The sold-out Gamebridge Fieldhouse erupted in cheers when Reese stepped to the free throw line and missed the first shot. Not courteous cheers, not kind words of support for the home team cheers that are full-throated and hungry. You realize you've made a mistake at that point. When everyone in the arena celebrates your failure together, perhaps you aren't the protagonist of this tale. Perhaps the heel turn in wrestling isn't going as planned.